Hello folks, welcome to the Chapter 4 review, Part 2, and this is the Dudley review. Okay, I can write fractions as decimals. And let's just put up a couple things here. First of all, we have fraction, 1/4 is a fraction. We can do 1 divided by 4, and that'll lead us to 0.25 as a decimal, and then we can move the decimal 2 places and get to 25%. So just a little thing there. And everybody knows that. So if you know that, you can do any of these things. So I'm going to reference this little cheat sheet here. So 5/8. To write that as a decimal, we just do 5 divided by 8 on our calculator, and we're going to get 0.625. That is a decimal, and we are done. 7/16, we're literally going to go 7 divided by 16. That's going to get us to a decimal, and it equals 0.43. I think it's 7.5. I'm going to double check that for you. It might be 2.5. 7 divided by 16. Nope, 0.4375 is correct. All right, I can write mixed numbers as decimals. Well, this is really going to be the same. We're just going to move the 2 over here, and then we're going to go 3 divided by 16 on our calculator. 3 divided by 16, and we got 0.1875. And we're just going to tack that on, 2.1875. There's our 2, there's our 3/16. Same thing here. I'm going to bring the 4 down because that one's not going to change. Then we're going to go 4 divided by 5, which equals 0.8. And we're just going to bring that 0.8 down and add it on, 4.8. All right, write these decimals as fractions. Well, let me just give you this one real quick. Here's 0.25. Here's how you do it. Put your pencil on the decimal point, make it into a fraction bar, put a 0 under each digit, put a 1 in front of the whole thing. You just made it into a decimal. Now you just have to reduce that, divide both by 25. 25 divided by 25 is 1. 100 divided by 25 is 4. We've got 1/4. All right, so 0.6. Well, let's do it. Make it into a fraction bar. 0 under each digit. 1 in front of the whole mess. We have 6/10. I can divide these both by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. We're in simplest form at 3/5. Ooh, tricky. 10.03. That's okay. Fraction bar. 0, 0, 1. So really what we have is 10 and 3/100ths. Well, 3, if you think about 3, the only factors are 1 and 3. Well, 3 doesn't go into 100, and dividing by 1 isn't going to do us any good. We're in simplest terms right here, 10 and 3/100ths. All right, here's 4.6a, ratios as percentages. I have 3 pairs of tennis shoes for every 2 pairs of dress shoes. 3 pairs of tennis shoes to every 2 pairs of dress shoes. This is a ratio. It uses 4 every or 2 every. These words 4 every, 2 every, these represent ratio. What percentage of my shoe collections is dress shoes? Well, to get to a percentage, we need to get to a decimal. To get to a decimal, we need to get to a fraction. So 3 to 2 is our ratio. That means there's a total of 5 parts. We're looking for dress shoes. 2 parts, 2 pairs of the 5 pairs are dress shoes. So we're just going to go 2 divided by 5 in the calculator. We're going to get to be 0.4. And then we're going to take and we'll move that decimal 2 places and we'll multiply by 100 and we'll get 40%. 40% of the shoe collection is dress shoes. All right, same thing here with cows and horses. There are 18 cows on the farm to 12 horses. What percentage of the farm animals belongs to a cow? Well, we got to get to a fraction, which means we got to get to a decimal. Then we'll go to a percent. So 18/12, how many total animals? Well, there's 30. And we want cows. There are 18 cows, so it's 18 30ths. So 18 divided by 30 is equal to 0.6. And then we'll just move that 2, and we're going to end up with 60%. Okay, don't forget we put that placeholder in there. That's what that's for. All right, I can write fractions as percentages. Okay, well, first of all, we got to get them to a decimal. So we'll wait. We'll do 7 divided by 8 on our calculator. This is going to be equal to 0.875. And then we're going to multiply by 100. Move that decimal. It'll be 87.5, and we just add the percent sign. There it is. 14 divided by 20. 14 divided by 20 on the calculator is going to say 0.7. We're just going to multiply by 100. We'll move that decimal 2 places. Put the placeholder in. It's 70%. Sorry about that. Just needed to shift my paper. All right. Write these percentages as fractions. Well, we got 43%. Well, we can, write these percentages as fractions. We got 36%. We can make 36, well, come back over here. Here's 25%, right? Make it into a decimal by moving it 2 and getting to 0.25, right? We can make that into a fraction by putting that into a fraction bar, 0 under each digit, 1 in front of the whole thing, and then we reduce, right? Same thing here, 36%, 1, 2. So now we have 0.36. Make that into a fraction bar, put a 0 under everything, put a 1 in front of the whole thing. We have 36/100ths. I can divide that by 2. I can also divide it by 4. Let's divide it by 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9. 100 divided by 4 is 25. And we're in simplest terms. The only factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9, and none of those go into 25, so you're done. Okay, 4%. This is kind of a tricky one, so let's do it together. 1, 2, we move it 2 places, so we have 0.04. Okay, make that into a fraction bar. Put a 0 under each digit, 1 in front of the whole thing. We have 4/100ths. All right, well, we can divide this either by 2 or 4. Let's use 4 because it'll get us reduced faster. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 100 divided by 4 is 25. You have 1/25. Now, we're writing percentages as decimals. All right, this is a simple one. 43%, 0.43, that's all we have to do. We divide by 100 or we move that decimal to the left. It's the same thing. 4%. Ooh. I think that's 0.4%, I believe. I can't tell. I'm going to do it both ways. I think this is 0.4%. Move the decimal 2 places. We have to put in a couple of placeholders, and you'd have 0.004. If your paper doesn't have a speck there, it might be just plain 4%. If it's 4%, the decimal is over here, and you move it 2, and you'd have 0.04. So I'm not sure which of the answers is right. I think that one. I think this is just like a little speck of schmutz, we'll call it. All right. Write the percentages with fractions as decimals. 20 and 1/2%. Let's think what I always told kids use the heart. So here's 20. Let's make that into a decimal. Here's 0.20. And then 1/2 is 0.50. So when we bring these guys together, we lose that 1 decimal point. We have 20 and 5. So here's the 20%. There's the extra 5%. So 0.205. We'll do the same thing over here. 32.25%. Well, this would be 0.32. 1/4 would be 0.25. We drop that second decimal, 0.3225. You can see the 32%. You can see the extra 1/4%. All right. Look at page 2. Write decimals as percentages. You have 0.35. Well, again, think of 0.25. Just move it 2 and add the percent sign, right? That's 25%. We'll do the same thing. We have 35. There's no need to have a decimal there if it's at the end. Just add the percent sign, 35%. Here we need to keep it 45.5%. All right, now I got to compare rational numbers with inequality symbols. These are the inequality symbols: greater than, less than, or equals. So 43%, the rule here is make everything into a decimal. So I have 0.43 and do it right underneath your work so you don't get the order mixed up. 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. That might be a little bit hard, but if I put a 0 there, so it looked like change, you could tell me that 60 cents is greater. Okay, so here's 0.04. Here's 1%. Let's go over here. Here's 1%. Move it to, it would be 0.01. So this is 0.01. This is 0.04. Well, 4 cents is greater, right? Right, we have to place the following orders and following numbers in order from least to greatest. These are all rational numbers. So 45%, 0.4, 3/5, and 9/16. Okay, well, let's make them all into decimals first. So this is 0.45. This one's 0.4. Let's put a 0 on it just so it, sorry, slide that up. Put a 0 behind it just so it looks like money. And then 3/5, 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. Just add a 0 on there. And 9/16, 9 divided by 16. 0.5625, 0.5625. So that's the first step. Make them all into decimals so you can compare them. All right, now we want least to greatest. So here's least and here's greatest. And let's just put some lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, what's the smallest out of that money-wise? Well, it's going to be 0.4, 0.40. The original form was just 0.4, so that's what I'll put down. The next one is 45 cents, or 45 cents, which is 45%. Again, go back to its original form. The next one is going to be 0.5625, so that's 9/16. And the greatest of these is 3/5, which is 0.6. So we'll just label it 3/5. Okay, let's do these ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 0.25, 1/3, 3/16, and 22%. Let's make them all into decimals. This one's already a decimal. That was easy. 1/3. 1 divided by 3 is 0.3, repeating. I'm just going to put an extra 3 on there so it looks like money, so we know. 3/16 should be 0.1875. Let's just double check that. 3 divided by 16. 0.1875. And 22%. Just move the decimal and you got 0.22. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. What do they want here? They want from least to greatest again. All right, what's the smallest? Okay, 0.1875, which is 3/16 would be first. The next one is going to be 22%. 0.22, so we got these guys done. Then we're going over here to 0.25 and 0.33. This is 1/3. 18 cents, 22 cents, 25 cents, 33 cents. Yep, we are good to go. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Good luck on the test.